And we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. The poured out life. We know. John is here. John is saying, this is a fact. This is common knowledge. We know about these things. We cannot deny this truth. It is a common truth. A common truth. We know love by this. Love is not defined by the world standard. Love is defined by how God defines it. We know love by this, that He laid down His life for us, and we ought. It is emphatic. We are to follow the example set by Christ. Christ left us an example to follow, and John is saying we ought to act this way. And if it means that our obligation to follow Jesus' example, if that leads us to death, then so be it. But we should follow His example by living our lives for others. We are to live our life for others. That's the poured out life. That is the life that is pleasing. That is a life that is a pleasing aroma to God. Willing to sacrifice our interests for the interests of others. Willing to sacrifice our good for the good of others. Not thinking about ourselves. Not think about our comfort, our plans, our dreams, but thinking what is good for others. We will go against the flow because the world is not designed that way. Everything in the world is about yourself, to make you happy. If you look at advertisements, most of them basically tells you that you'll be happy if you buy this product. It will make you dissatisfied on what you have. But this mindset of pouring our lives for others is a mindset that is not orthodox. It's not common. It's not accepted. But we are, as I mentioned, we are to flow against the flow. We live a different life because we will be measured by a different standard. Because our master is different. And the standard we set in our life should be the standard set by God. Because one day, naked, we will stand in front of Him to give an account of the life we live. Son, have you poured out your life for me? Or after saving you, you decided to live your life for yourself? Don't waste your life. Don't be fooled to think that life is about living for yourself, for your comfort, for your benefit. That's why we see all of these great martyrs, right? Great men of faith turning back on careers, opportunities, and all that. Why? Because they have seen the truth. They have internalized this truth that Christ left as an example to follow. Serving others. And unless we are willing to do such, our life here on earth will be a waste. Unless we learn to die to ourselves, we will never bear fruit. Fruit that will last. And it's never too late. It's never too late to die to self. I've been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I that live, but Christ lives in me. Unless you die, you will not bear the fruit that will count for all eternity. Go to John chapter 12, please. John chapter 12, verse 24 to 25. Truly, truly, I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. He who loves his life loses it, and he who hates his life in this world will keep it to life eternal. Unless you die, you cannot bear fruit. But how about my plans? I had this plan all along. Are you telling me that they're all a waste? You know, I spent some time with my son Santino this past 4 days. 4 days I was with him. Great joy. And you know, one of the things that blessed me a lot, anak, if I may say, you know, while taking a shower, he would sing Christian songs non-stop. Majesty, worship. Singing. And sabi ko nga sa asawa ko, anak ng preacher's son. Kawawa naman kung maging pastor. And that was a bad joke. I mean, it's a joke. Kawawa. We really have to work hard. I really have to work hard, save enough money to give to him. Because if he's going to be a pastor, magugutom daw. And I was joking with me and my wife. But it's a really bad joke. It was really a joke. So but we need to learn to die. Die to ourselves if we are to bear fruit. Have you been bearing fruit? Have you seen the fruits of your death? If there's none, probably you have not died. Then you remain alone. To pour out life is what God is telling us today. Are you willing to pour out your life for others? Christ set an example, not thinking about the consequences or the cost, but obeying to the point of death, even death on the cross. Go to Exodus chapter 11, please. Exodus chapter 11, verse 24 to 27 says, by faith, Moses, when he has grown up, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to endure ill treatment with the people of God than to enjoy the passing pleasures of sin. Oh, sorry, that Exodus, Hebrews 11. Sorry. When I said Moses kasi, what came to my mind is Exodus. Anyway. Then I said, this is not Exodus, this is Hebrews. Hebrews 11, sorry for that. Verse 24. And I repeat, Hebrews 11, verse 24 says, by faith, Moses, when he has grown up, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to endure ill treatment to the people of God than to enjoy the passing pleasures of sin, considering the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures of Egypt. For he was looking to the reward. By faith he left Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is unseen. Wow. I mean, how many of us are willing to take that route? He was there. He was on top of the world. It was believed by historians that Moses was next in throne. The one that controls the throne at that time, according to historians, is the mother of Moses. She was the person that really controlled Pharaoh at that time. That's why when Moses killed an Egyptian, honestly, if you're Pharaoh, if you're Duterte, and your son kills a drug lord, I'm sure no one would put the son of Duterte to jail. Especially the Pharaoh, right? No one questions the Pharaoh. So when Moses killed the Egyptian, honestly, the Pharaoh could have turned a blind eye on it. And no one would protest. But because the Pharaoh was insecure that Moses would take his throne, the Pharaoh did not let Moses off the hook. And Moses, according to the passage, chooses rather to endure the ill treatment with the people of God. Rather to live in Egypt as a prince, he turned his back on that privileged life to be a service to the people of God. The Bible tells us we have been bought with a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. And that will not happen if you're just thinking about yourself. You cannot honor God with your in your body by buying all the luxury stuff in the world. That's not the way. Yes, if you buy all those luxury stuff in the world, you'll be honored by man. But that's not the honor that God seeks in your body. The honor He seeks in your body is a surrendered life. A life poured out for others. You have been bought with a terribly high price. Christ set you an example. He died for you in order that you may die, that you may serve for others. Sabi nga in fact, God did naman, for most of us, God does not allow us to die for Him, but to live for Him. To live for Christ. Why? Go to 2 Corinthians, please. 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Second Corinthians chapter 4, verse 7 goes, "But we have these treasures in earthen vessels, so that the surpassing greatness of the power will be of God, not from ourselves. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels." Earthen vessels are very fragile. Madaling mabasag. And that is one of the lowest level of vessels or containers and earthen vessels. These are not the vessels made of